Hey, Josh, Coach was just talking about how much pain you were in during the week. When were you really sure you were going to play, and how much pain did you have to play with?
Yeah, I mean, coming off an ankle injury, I mean, it's been pretty painful the whole week. I mean, I don't really necessarily know like a certain day. I mean, I've been ready, waiting for the opportunity to come back, and today was the day. So.
And then it looked like you stepped right back into your old Viper position pretty easily. What are the challenges of going back and forth between those two positions?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a challenge switching to and from. I mean, thankfully I was there before, and the coaching staff, I mean, being able to help and sit down after practice and everything, being able to get in the playbook and just ask questions and have the best resources around. It's been super helpful.
Back row on your right in the blue polo. Right up the middle.
Josh, I was just wondering if you could take me through your read on that play where you obviously recovered the fumble, just kind of like what was going through your head as that whole play developed.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the tackle go down, so I knew I had a brown spot and feather. And it just so happened I was at the right place at the right time, threw my hand out, was able to tip it, and came down with it. So, yeah.
And then is there any nervousness coming back after a couple weeks off with the injury?
I think it was more excitement for sure. I mean, I was out for a couple weeks, and just the feeling of not being able to get out there and contribute and like help the team, and then finally being able to go out there and play with the boys, it was awesome.
Third row on your left up the middle, Sean Stiers.
Hey, Josh, where are you right now? Like, are you 80%, 90%? How would you kind of put it?
We're 100%. We're good to go.
You know, I guess you just kind of touched on it a little bit. Like, how important was it for you, you know, just to get back out there today after being out for so long?
It was big. Definitely a big mental game. Just being able to get back out there right where I left off. Felt comfortable, felt confident, and was able to go out and execute, have a good group of guys around us, good coaches. We were able to get it done.
Front row on your left once we get the microphone up there, Tyler Horka.
Josh, Coach was in here talking about the fourth down stops that you guys got. How big are those, and do you feel like when you guys get off the field in those situations that those are like big moments in a ball game like this?
Absolutely. I mean, the momentum change and everything, being able to give the ball back to our offense, it just builds confidence both ways on both sides of the ball.
And then when you see the injuries that occur at the defensive end position and you're still a little bit hobbled, you don't know if you're going to be able to play, how do you kind of juggle that in your mind, wanting to be out there bad, but knowing that you got to come back when it's right for your body?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I mean, the past couple weeks in practice and everything, we're kind of dealing with that, wanting to get back out there, but not necessarily at that full level. But just the recovery, the treatment, the training staff, and everything, the coaches, they're a huge help every step of the way.
That's got to be the first time you've ever caught a pass in competitive football, or
I knew that one was coming first. Yes, it was. First time I've ever touched a football, actually. So.
to kind of just take us through that play, and I mean, it seems like it just kind of landed in your lap and you went with it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. It was kind of just like, oh, here we go. It's hard to explain. We ran tight zone to the right, and I was on my combo block, and I was on the way, and then I see the ball, and it's in the air, and I grab it and run. It was just like an instinctual thing that happened, so it's fun, though.
Just to the left, Jack Sobel.
Pat, I mean, we've seen flashes of this kind of performance on the offense. We haven't seen the consistency yet before today. Like, how are you guys able to put together this complete performance?
Yeah, I think that was the message just the whole week. Like, Coach Denbrock just talked about finding those gaps, finding where we were maybe lacking short at the start of the season, and just like being intentional about fixing those and starting fast, which I know Coach Freeman talked about, but starting fast every possession, starting fast every play. Like, it's not just – it's one thing to score on the first possession or first possession coming out of half, but, like, maintaining that momentum and things like that. That was the message of the week, and I think we did a really good job of that.
What were some of the things you did during practice that gave you the confidence that you could put together a performance like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just reps, like playing like these five guys that I'm playing with on the O-line. Like, we're just building. We're stacking days, and it takes a while, but at the same time, like, we're all so confident in each other. So we're just keeping on stacking on those Tuesdays and Wednesdays, those physical days of practice. And all the reps we can get is really instrumental in our development. So that builds confidence for us. It really does.
Front row on your right, Pete Sampson.
Coach was in here and said really like the practices, the preparation has been better. Like he's seeing it. So do you sense that as well? Do you feel like you guys are practicing better than maybe September?
100%.
Okay.
I think so. And I don't think there's a rhyme or reason why, but I just feel like we've built confidence in each other, and we understand each other more, and we're going out there and we're playing really good football. And yeah, the practices have been great. The energy is always great. So, like I said, we kind of just got to keep stacking that and with that momentum and just keep getting better every day.
And did the instincts take over when you signaled first down, or did you want to celebrate that a different way, or how did you see that?
I didn't know it was a first down at first, and like I was laying on the ground because I was just like wanting to make sure I had the ball. But yeah, kind of just I was just like, it's fun. Let's have fun with it, I guess.
Third row up the middle on your right, Tim O'Malley.
Pat, I think you guys were 8 for 8 on 3rd and 4th and short today. I know mentality is part of it, but what is the approach when it's obvious run situations? You did run in all of them, obvious run situations. How has that changed? Because that has been a little bit of a struggle coming into this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, it's just confidence, and confidence that's been built throughout the weeks. And it's always been here, like, me and mine versus you and yours, and let's go. Like, that's got to be the mentality of our group, and it is the mentality of our group. So, sure, we've fallen short at sometimes, but, like, that mindset has never changed. And, yeah, we were successful with it today for sure.
I wanted to ask you if Rocco Spindler was the happiest person on the field when you caught that pass.
I saw
It
that.
certainly seemed like it.
Yeah, he kept slapping me on the back. I was like, all right, relax, I'm trying to breathe.
Front row on your right, Eric Hansen.
Hey, Pat. After the Purdue game, we had a chance to talk to you about your story and how you handled things, but what's interesting to me is how you built on it. It wasn't just that moment. So how have you been able to build on it? Have you noticed the effect it's had on your teammates, what you've been able to do as a starter?
I think personally for me, it's just been taking advantage of an opportunity. When things didn't go my way early in the season, I still knew I was going to be a huge part of this team. And I never let that flutter my confidence or anything, because I knew deep in my heart, like, this team needs me and I need this team. So as a team-wise, I think any guy can step in there. Like, that's how confident I am in our offensive line unit, but just anyone in that locker room, in that offensive unit in general, like, everyone brings the energy. So it's been great. It's really just taking advantage of the opportunity and running with it. Yeah.
And then beyond rest and recovery during the bye, what was the emphasis that the offensive line wanted to accomplish during that time in terms of evolving that position group?
Yeah, it was just get better. That was the end of the day message. Like, we got to get better, and it's the small details that were hindering us, and we had to focus on those. Whether it's hand placement or backside leg or playing with length and pass pro, it's those small details that caught up to us or will catch up to us that we just got to keep honing in on, because those little details will and have become big details.
Last question opportunity for Pat up the middle, second row, Chuck Freeby.
You have to go on the road next week for the first time in a while. How much better prepared is this unit to handle a loud road environment in Atlanta?
Yeah, we're excited. Obviously, it's going to be an unbelievable opportunity with a really good team that's coming up. So it's going to be fun to get on and playing with the boys again. Like, that's always a good time. So I'm looking forward to that. But we're going to have a great week of prep and put in the work for sure, and we'll be ready come Saturday.
And how many times will you watch the replay of your catch?
Not too many. I mean, I'm sure. I think I already watched it once when in there or something. But everyone's sending it to me and like texting me. I'm like, all right, it's fun and all, but I'm glad we won.
I asked Josh Burnham the same question, but how big are the fourth down stops, especially when you guys are giving the ball back over to your offense near midfield, and with the confidence that they can, go score off of those?
Obviously, it's massive, right? A fourth down stop in general is huge, but fourth down after fourth down stop after fourth down stop is just, it's a morale booster for sure. I mean, we were all excited and really brought everybody up.
I know we talked about this in the middle of the week, but just you physically, how much do you feel like the guy that you were last year, and then you're actually able to go out there and kind of show us that as well?
I mean, like I said before, I hold myself to a higher standard, and I felt like I need to do a lot better. And I feel like lately I'm starting to be the guy who I want to be. And again, like I always say, is I want to get better every day. So the guy I was last year right now is not good enough. So I need to be better.
Staying on the left side, third row, towards the left, Pete Byrne.
Hey, Howard. Just wondering if you could talk a little bit about the identity that this defense is kind of evolving into and your resolve to kind of be dominant the way you guys have been. It would have been easy to give up a little more than you did today, but you guys really slammed the door after that first drive.
I mean, that's our mentality. Is every week we try and get better with whatever we do. And no matter what situation we're in, depending on if we just go on for a regular drive or something bad happens and we fumble or something crazy happens, we go in and we stop them 3 and out. That's the mindset from start to finish. Doesn't matter where we are with the scores or what time of day it is. It's time to go.
What is the confidence of this team right now? You guys have won 4 in a row, I think.
Pretty high, but obviously we're very grounded. But we've learned a lot halfway through this season already, which is crazy. But I mean, we've learned a lot, but we are confident. Smart, confident, not overconfident. We're confident, for sure.
Staying on the left side, back row, Jesse Washington.
Hey, Howard. How would you describe Coach Freeman as a coach and as a person?
As a coach, he's probably the right coach that anybody wants to have. He's very points the finger at himself first. He never blames anybody. Starts from the top down, and that's his mentality. Is if anything, somebody jumps off sides on the D-line, he's like, hey, that's me. I got to fix that. And then it's top-down mentality. And obviously, as a person, he wants to make sure that obviously we're great football players, we're great men as well. He looks out for us in any way we can, any way he can, and we're all thankful for that.
Does anyone on the team have a better haircut than Coach Freeman?
No, I personally know that he definitely gets a fade up once a week at least, so or every other day. So, yeah.
Front row, on your right, Eric Hansen.
You and Riley played like your hair was on fire today, but I want to ask you about a couple of your teammates, Gabe Rubio and Josh Burnham coming back. What does their return mean to your defensive front?
We're getting back to full strength, and we're all excited and thankful to see them back on the field. All week, we're like, the second he came in, he's like, hey, I'm putting the pads on this week. We all started cheering. So it's great to see everybody start doing well and start getting their stuff back together.
Front row, on your left, Jack Sobel.
Howard, you were in here after the NIU game, and you were pretty honest with about like the team's preparation. How have you seen the week-to-week preparation improve since that game?
If I remember correctly, I said this is an extremely good lesson. It was. We learned to not, depending on, doesn't matter how we played the week before, it's preparation's everything. Doesn't matter who we're playing, how good, how bad they're ranked, or stat-wise, it doesn't matter. We prepare the exact same for every single team. So that's...
This has happened a few times where you give a drive at the beginning, you make the adjustments, then you kind of slam the door from there on out. What is it about this team and Coach Golden that's good about making those adjustments after the scripted drive?
I mean, like I said before, like when we make, we have a, if it happens, it's great, but it only happens once mentality, right? They gash us, they scheme it up or something, that's great. But next drive won't happen again. And that's the mentality for everything. And until eventually there's just nothing else they can do. And that's the mentality we have.
Riley, can you give us a sense of like practice the last couple weeks of preparation, if you felt like a performance like this was coming?
Yeah, you always hear the coaches say, like, practice how you play, and, you know, practice is the exact representation of the game. And, you know, sometimes you, like, shrug that off. You're like, all right, like, I'll be able to show up in the game time. But I think these last couple weeks at practice, we've had an emphasis on just, you know, knowing who we want to be and striving to be that every day at practice. So those same plays we made out there, we probably made 3 times each in practice this week. Like, it was like deja vu for us. So it was really cool to see.
And was today a representation at all of like you and Mike Denbrock being on, you know, 5 games worth of the same page opposed to just sort of starting over at A&M?
Right, yeah. You kind of had to learn the hard way, but I think we really understand each other now. You know, there are plenty of early mornings before everybody gets in the facility where me and him are sitting down with, you know, coffee and bagels, eating and talking about life, and then talk about, you know, the game plan and things like that. So we've really gotten to know each other really well. And every play, you know, you talk about knowing the why of every play, and I understand the why now
of the plays that he's calling.
Front row on your left, Tyler Horka.
Coach Freeman was in here talking about how much of an emphasis it was from the start to get the passing game going against this particular opponent. When you hear that and you know that's the game plan, where does your mind go, and kind of what was your mindset going into this game?
Yeah, if the game plan is to attack him in the air, then it's to attack him in the air. If the game plan is to run the ball, it's to run the ball. If it's to run the quarterback, it's to run the quarterback. I'm not going to think twice about it. I try to trust the coaches. They wanted to throw the ball around. Obviously, we were getting good looks for that. We kind of knew that all week. So, it's a great feeling to obviously hear that because you're able to spread the ball to the guys who deserve it the most.
Speaking of a guy who might deserve it, Pat Coogan, you kind of had a
my boy
front row seat to his first career reception. What was it like being right there for that?
That was sweet. That was a man upstairs, dude. I remember looking over the sideline and like Kenny or somebody just mouthed like, "That's God, bro." Like, yeah, that was God, man. He was on my side there. Great job by Pat. Like, really cool to see. Somebody was saying like some stat or something in the locker room about his completion percent. I don't know, something like that. But really, really happy for him. This is a guy who obviously didn't start at the beginning of the year, had to come in, and this was the loudest guy at practice, like getting on to the guys who were starting in front of him every single day, like yelling at them because he cared about them so much and he put, the team above himself. So to see him, and his leadership, come to everything that's happened to him so far, it's really cool, man. He's the man, and he deserves everything, man.
Second row on your right, up the middle, Chuck Freebie.
I think you had talked maybe after the Purdue game about trying to make some mechanical adjustments, and you certainly talked to us after Louisville about needing some rest and recovery. But how much of this today was feeling better? How much of it was mechanical adjustments that maybe you made with Mike or Gino?
Yeah, there were some mechanical issues that, I've gotten a lot better at, and a lot of it's just confidence, letting it rip, and trusting your guys. My body, obviously, after the bye week, felt really good, and mentally I did as well. I was able to take a trip back to Alabama, relax a little bit, see the family, and it kind of just gave me perspective on, maybe don't put the weight of the world on your shoulders whenever you're out there playing and just enjoy it. So, yeah, it's definitely helped me a lot.
Speaking of trusting in your guys, you're getting a better rapport with your receiving core. You were able to incorporate a lot of them into the game today. How does that develop?
Yeah, obviously in practice, I think they've been open kind of all year. Just, haven't been throwing it to them, but I just threw them the ball today pretty much, and look what happened. So, yeah, and nothing crazy, right? They've been running routes their whole life. I've been throwing the ball my whole life. Just why not throw it to them? So, yeah.
Front row on your left, Jack Sobel.
Riley, what was working with the RPOs today, and how are you able to convert a few of them for touchdowns?
Yeah, the way their defense was structured, we knew we'd have to take advantage of that. They were going to load the box up, and if we can never get a little run fake here, run fake there, and collapse that defense, we're going to win our one-on-one matchups on the outside. So nothing crazy, nothing rocket science, just simple RPOs. But when they're done and executed so often, you become very comfortable with it, and you're able to execute it pretty well.
On your right, third row, Tim Priester.
During the week, Coach Denbrock talked with great confidence about how well you had practiced in the 2 weeks leading up to this. What did you do in those practices to gain his confidence?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't really know. I didn't really change anything too much other than the fact that, mentally I just began to have this carefree mindset of I've only got one opportunity of this, so we're going to let the ball fly around and not worry too much. Physically, mechanically, sure there are some few things here or there, but I think mentally, just enjoying this moment and having fun is the biggest thing.
2 weeks ago tonight when we talked to you, you talked about using the time to get healthy, and yet you were starting to really play good football. Was it kind of a catch-22? I'd like to get healthy, but I'd like to keep
honestly,
playing.
I was ready for the break. Like, we had a good game against Louisville, but I was ready for that bye week. Yeah, physically for sure.
Last question opportunity for Riley on your right, Jackson Neal.
Today you threw the ball downfield quite a bit more. Just how have you kind of seen this offense open up a little bit more over the past couple games?
Yeah, take what the defense gives you. Something that I've taken a lot of pride in. And, I think, when we're able to stretch the ball down the field, not only does it, create momentum, but it, softens defenses a little bit. And they had a lot of new guys in there in the secondary who were playing pretty far off all game. So to be able to get the ball over their heads and, maybe shake them up here or there, it obviously helps us out a lot.
And then continuing, you scrambled a couple times today. How do you continue to kind of find that balance of when to stay in the pocket, when to leave the pocket?
I really don't think about that too much. That's just something that has to come natural. The moment I think, well, I haven't used my legs too much this game, I'm going to skip this read, and I try not to do that. If I end up scrambling, I end up scrambling. But, obviously that's probably not the objective, but if it helps the team win, then, that's something that I'm going to trust my legs to do.
Riley, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. God bless.